One. Welcome back. I'm making a short tutorial on my most common used nodes. Seen a few other people do that. Thought it might be interesting. These are all nodes I pretty much don't really have to think too hard. And from here on are some that I use, but not a lot, like the point light and some others. But I'm not going to go over what all they all do. If you want to leave a comment and ask me if you have a question on what one of them do or some of them, feel free. I'd be glad to answer your question. So I'm going to slide this up. I made them as big as I can. Hopefully you can see them. This right here is a basic 3D setup, including the render. Of course, that's the media out. But this right here, if you're going to do pretty much anything 3D, you're going to start with a 3D text node, and then, or an image plane or 3D shape. Didn't realize I pulled that one out twice. But back to this. This is pretty much your basic 3D setup. If you go to the image plane or a 3D shape, 3D shape, you actually have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 options up here to create anything you'd like. I've been getting into that pretty heavy lately, if you've noticed, making some subscribe buttons and animated 3D objects. Some stuff with spheres and pictures inside. And okay, we went over them. So I use these 3 polygon, the rectangle, and the ellipse. But those are my 3 masking. I hardly ever use this one, the B-spline. I have, but not very often. Then you got replace materials, material merge, and the fall off. The fall off is one that you would use, is the one I use on the sphere when I want to make it invisible, totally transparent, or have a frosted edge or change the color and add a different edge around it. I'm sure you've seen my tutorials on that. I did just realize I did forget one other one. The blend. I've used the blend a lot. I was explaining on the fall off where I use that. And edge detect is pretty much self-explanatory. Glow. The DVE I use for a lot of picture stuff. Stills. And then texture transform. And over here to the left, obviously, we got text pause, color corrector, blur, background, brightness contrast, merge, transform, resize, and matte control. That's my basic setup. Here I have text, 3D text, camera, spotlight. I don't use all these spotlights. Sometimes I will use them or put them in there, and I try different ones. Some, like the spotlight will cast much more of a shadow than anything else. But I'll just have them in there with the option to use them or not use them sometimes. So spotlight there, ambient light, and directional light. Directional light seems to me like they're just a little bit softer light than the spotlight. These tools here for the main setup, if you don't already know, they're right here on the right of the toolbar. Starts out with the image plane, shape 3D, 3D text, merge, 3D, camera, spotlight, and render. If you click all of them in a row like I just explained there, that's how they will lay out right here. To make what I made here, including this render 3D, I just started out, I click the 3D text, merge, camera, spotlight, and 3D render. And they'll all connect. Okay, there is one note I forgot. The Cube 3D I use quite often. Okay, there you go. Like I said, any questions, go ahead and leave a comment. I'll definitely answer you back with whatever I know. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.